Now, for some updates on how it's going on the ground, there's been a lie circulating that we're losing, and it's actually much worse over there than we've been told. Things are really tough. The military's discouraged. All this is lies. I showed you Buzz Patterson's text last night. Well, here is Admiral Brad Cooper, CENTCOM General, giving us an update. I'm just going to play the last couple minutes instead of the whole thing, but listen carefully to what he's saying here.
Iranian ship underway in the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, or Gulf of Oman, and we will not stop. We will continue to conduct dynamic targeting operations. We're hunting Iran's last remaining mobile ballistic missile launchers to eliminate what I would characterize as their lingering launch capability. Now, in retaliation, the Iranian regime has launched over 500 ballistic missiles and over 2,000 drones. To be clear, Iran is indiscriminately targeting civilians as they launch these missiles and drones. You've seen it on TV. The evidence is crystal clear and overwhelming. Having said this, we are seeing Iran's ability to hit us and our partners is declining, while our combat power, on the other hand, is building. And my overall operational assessment is that we are ahead of our game plan. Along the way, every single branch of our military is achieving unprecedented success. I'll talk about just a few of them. Our naval forces have deployed multiple waves of cruise missiles, obliterating Iranian command and control and air defense capabilities. From 2 aircraft carrier strike groups, we're squeezing Iran from the sea and have them backed into their own ports. U.S. air forces are doing what they do best, executing a high volume of airstrikes right into Iran. Operationally, the 2 most powerful air forces in the world, the U.S. and Israel, are dominating the skies of the world's largest state sponsor of terror. Our U.S. Army soldiers are defending ourselves and our partners, and in a historic first, the U.S. Army fired long-range precision strike missiles called PRISMs in combat, providing an unrivaled deep strike capability. Also for the first time, U.S. Central Command's drone task force, called Task Force Scorpion Strike, launched countless one-way attack drones, achieving massive effects. I'd like to point out these drones were originally an Iranian design. We took them back to America, made them better, and fired them right back at Iran. I just could not be prouder of our men and women in uniform, leveraging innovation to create dilemmas for the enemy. There is no adversary too determined, no mission too difficult for the great soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Guardians, and Coast Guardsmen that make up the most powerful military the world has ever seen. Our military objectives are crystal clear, and our people are executing an immensely complex and historic mission with relentless lethality, conviction, and professionalism. And we've just begun. But I have the utmost confidence that we, alongside our partners, will absolutely achieve our military objectives. To all our warriors, Godspeed. Thanks so much.
All right, did you hear what he said there? He said clear objectives. That's very important to remember. He said they are weakening. We are getting stronger. We've taken out all this stuff, hit 2,000 targets. That doesn't sound like a military that's in any danger at all of losing this. I saw a tally of Iran's rockets. By the way, how sick is it that we took their drones, reprogrammed them, and sent them right back at them? That's awesome. I'm sorry, but that's cold, but that's awesome. But this is what the military wants, man. Clear objectives and go for it. And that Trump's enabling them, and we're seeing what can happen. So don't listen to the lies. Any bad reports that come out, just don't go there. The influencers, man, freaking out. We're going to get stuck. Does this look like a man who's going to get stuck? Does this look like a man who's got any doubt? And I know we could find out something where that hasn't happened yet, but you know what Trump's already doing? He's already talking to militias from other countries, other Middle Eastern countries, and figuring out deals of sending them in. Trump is doing everything he can to avoid having our troops go in. Israel's waiting at the border ready to go in. So I don't think we got to worry about getting stuck in this, guys. We're going to keep giving air support, keep funding, keep giving weapons to the neighbors. But Iran This is one of those things where I think Trump just outsmarted him again. You know, it's like in the State of the Union where he set up the Democrats and they sat. Well, he set up Iran in this strike, and Iran freaked out and they started bombing all their neighbors. And now they have the entire Middle East against them. They don't have any allies. They've reached out to China, and China said, we support you, but we're not showing up. I mean, they are alone. And in this, Iran's getting decimated. One of the biggest, baddest militaries in the world. One of the hardest countries in the world. This is what we've been told our entire lives. One of the hardest countries in the world to do a military operation against. We're just coasting right now. It's going to be shocking to see if they do have a big response, because every day more of their weapons are being taken out, more of their leaders are being taken out, more of their military sites are being taken out. Like, how can they respond with this? It makes no sense. We've just never seen this before. We've never seen our military be so efficient before. It's kind of mind blowing. Look at this, a WhatsApp text from a Navy SEAL. We're a little ahead of schedule. We've heard that now from Trump. We've heard that now from the general who was just on. Now we're seeing it from a troop themselves, a Navy SEAL. We're ahead of schedule. Today we completely wiped out their Navy. They have 0 ships now. We have full air superiority. All effective ADA sites are gone. They have no ground to air. They have some ballistic cruiser and some one-way Group 2 and 3 drones left. They already lost. We're just doing surgical work now. Do you understand the momentousness of that final statement? They've already lost. We're just doing surgical work now. That means we are precision striking them to death, and not their people, their military. We're making sure it's fully eradicated so they have nothing. And so what we're going to have to watch for is, in my opinion, we're most likely going to see them turn on their own people. And that's horrific and sad. But I would not be surprised if they start trying to hold their own people hostage, because this regime is sick. And in that case, the people have to step up. But here's what's going to happen what could happen that's never happened before. Remember, just a month ago, the riots were huge. They wanted regime change. They rose up, and then they got mowed down. Well, this time they could rise up while we've knocked out all their military capabilities. So honestly, I'm just going to be shocked if this doesn't succeed at this point. That part of that confidence comes from just trusting Trump all this time and how well that served me. And part of it comes from what I'm actually seeing. You know, I was a lot younger with Iraq and Afghanistan, but I did follow it pretty closely. And we've just never seen this before. I just never seen anything like this. Mike says B-52s are inbound. Kim Wiley says the husband says he's worried about their subs. ChatGPT says one or only a few. I wouldn't trust ChatGPT. ChatGPT is very left-wing, and it's also usually a day or two behind on the news. So don't trust ChatGPT, Kim, just when it comes to news. Trust me, I use it all the time. But yeah, maybe they're subs. But I would tell you this, that guys, if their subs were a huge issue, I have a feeling we already would have seen them strike somewhere. And with the capabilities and the technology we're starting to show, do we really think their subs wouldn't be countered by our sub, like that we'd be following them around, keeping an eye on them? I mean, when we say their ships are gone, their entire Navy's gone, doesn't that include their subs? I don't know. I can't answer that, but I would think so, right? Or maybe I just played too much Battleship growing up. But so here's some of the other effects we're seeing. Well, oil only spiked 8% so far. Everybody was predicting 80 to 100. I saw people predicting 150 overnight. Oil's barely spiked. Well, thank you, Trump. because drill baby drill is working. Record-breaking U.S. 13.6 million barrels a day. So the war is not affecting us that much. Now it has started to get to the stock market. Dow was down 1,200 points at one point today. That's wild, but it recovered most of it. We're going to talk about the markets later. There's a lot of fragility in the markets, and I would not be surprised if, because they're losing so badly in Iran and they are getting more and more desperate. You got to remember, guys, every day, the deep state, City of London types, cabal, every day they get weaker and weaker. And every day when they get weaker, it's getting closer and closer to them panicking. Because they're panicked right now. But by panicking, I mean them trying to unleash whatever they have left in their tool belt. And one of those things may be financial attack. There's some indicators of that, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So the Democrats and Thomas Massie, because Thomas Massie is basically a Democrat, they were getting ready to try to pass a War Powers Act to strip Trump of his ability to carry out this fight. Thankfully, Mike Johnson has his back, has the votes to defeat the War Powers resolution, limiting it. I also think it'll fail easily in the Senate if it passed the House, but not passing the House is even better. So the Republicans in the House doing their job, which is pretty incredible considering they only have the majority by like 2 votes right now since a couple Republicans stepped down. Thank you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for quitting and making our House majority that much smaller until your special election can be held. Appreciate that one, loser. But Mike Johnson coming out saying they're playing right into the hands of the enemy, calling out Democrats. John Thune, who is kind of a snake oil salesman, guys, he's pretty awful, but even he's falling in line. And this just tells me that Trump still has got his hold on the Republican Party. When asked, do you think Congress would need to authorize military action against Iran beyond 60 or 90-day window? He says the president has the authority he needs to conduct the activities. So Thune and Johnson, both leaders in Congress, fully supporting Trump in this. We're not getting Republican betrayal right now. I think that's for a couple reasons. Excuse me. I think they're scared, but they also know that this strike is overwhelmingly positively seen by Republicans, and they just can't risk it. And one of the reasons is it's going so well. They don't want to get in a boondoggle of stopping Trump and stopping them from a great victory. As it's looking like it more and more by the day. Look what they pulled off this morning. So if you guys know anything about Iran's leadership, they created a structure to survive, where if you take out the head, we have others coming up easily. And what the Trump administration keeps doing is just taking them back down, just mowing them down over and over and over again. Well, today, Israel struck a building with their assembly of experts where they were getting ready to vote in a new supreme leader, and 88-member clerical body, and they just took them all down. Now, I don't know if they were all in there, but they took down the building while they were getting ready to vote. Look at that thing, just obliterated. That's crazy, man. The genius behind these strikes is astounding. It is, again, I know I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it, but the truth is that we are seeing one of the greatest military offensive ever carried out in history so far. Lochtfeld on Rumble says CIA and Mossad will be arming the Kurds and Azeris to hunt down the mullahs. Wow. I think I did hear about the Kurds. So, and CIA. So that makes sense to me. Mike says Obama had the opportunity to do this in 2009 during the Green Revolution. He turned his back on the Iranian people. That's because Obama is all for this. Obama is with the Muslim Brotherhood. John Brennan, his puppeteer, is a Muslim. He converted to Islam in 1999. He was Obama's handler. Obama's a CIA puppet created by the deep state, created by City of London types, by the intelligence agencies to allow this stuff to happen. That's why he was feeding them cash at the end of his term. 3 days before Obama left office, he gave them $1.9 billion. Or was it 1.7? Anyways, pallets on pallets of cash, literally pallets. You can't make this stuff up. It's the craziest thing. And so Obama was an enabler of these. And you remember when George Bush called them the axis of evil? And yet, he said North Korea, Iraq, Iran, yeah, the axis of evil, and yet never made any plans to go after Iran. Why? Because you don't go after the hand that feeds. You don't bite the hand that feeds. Instead, we were giving lies, propaganda, that Iran you just can't go after. You just can't do it. You know who said we could, though? Pat Buchanan, the original MAGA. Old Pat Buchanan, fall of the West, called out the immigration issues, Republican, but really an outsider. The man even more valuable than Ron Paul as a thought leader. The original MAGA, Pat Buchanan, in an interview going around with Sean Hannity right now, said we could take out Iran in a day. Well, Sean Hannity, Sean Hannity he's a prop. Sean Hannity, no, we couldn't. Iran is impossible. We can't do that. Buchanan's like, yeah, we could. Easy. This was 20 years ago they were having this fight. Trump just proved it. Trump just proved Buchanan right. It's been just over 3 days, and Iran is pretty decimated. It's wild. And we were told that this would be impossible forever. How crazy. How crazy is this? It is absolutely insane. Let's keep going through some of this stuff. Before we went in, Kash Patel gutted the Special Iran Intelligence Unit days before the operation. Why do you think he did that? I think it's obvious. No leaks. You eliminate the intelligence unit that you've been using to prepare for everything, to get the intel, and then before the decisions are made, before they know the decisions are made, that is, Kash lets them all go. Brilliant. And this just shows you that Kash he knows what he's doing, because nothing was leaked. Nobody expected the attacks to happen when they did. Kash knew. And it tells you that they're also wisely using the FBI, CIA, all these places that have been deep state controlled, that have been so infiltrated, that we didn't trust, that we were told to burn to the ground. Now, these guys know how to use them. They know how to assign these people, the bad ones, let them do some work, use them, and still let them go. And more firings are coming for the FBI. Kash, man. What's the big psyop that was happening just a couple weeks ago? Kash Patel's a joke. He's out there partying with the hockey team. Why do you think? The Epstein files, one of the big reasons the Epstein files is a hoax, not because they're actually a hoax, but the hoax is what they're using it for. And one of those hoaxes is they are trying to use the Epstein files to tear apart Trump's Justice Department, because Trump's Justice Department is behind the scenes killing it. And I'm sorry, but some of you in here, you know who you are. You're friends, so I can call you out. It's with love. Some of you in here have fallen for it. You've fallen for Pam Bondi is bad. You've fallen for Kash Patel's not doing anything. Yeah, you did. You didn't listen to me.